Major development here at Martinsville. One of our championship contenders, John Hunter Nemechek, and heavy damage.
Well, that's just about as hard as you can hit the wall here at Martinsville. Trying to get that truck turned around. Remember how much damage he had at Talladega. Our last race.
It's knocked down. Rear bumper's knocked down. It's coming to.
He's out. I mean, they'll just go to the garage. I mean, they might come to pit road, but it's a.
Look how bad the rear end's been. How that.
It's hanging out.
Yeah.
It has gone from bad to worse for John Hunter Nemechek, qualifying 17th, and then trying to make his way up through the field. It only gained a spot, was running 16th, and then this major blow to his championship hopes.
There's no one around him.
That has the looks of maybe a throttle hanging, or
looked more like a wheel hop to me, or perhaps
a
brake issue. I don't see any way that, well, maybe I feel like he just maybe had a brake issue. And wow, heavy contact here at Martinsville.
I'll be interested to hear John Hunter's comments about what happened in that situation. And you see the damage. They are going. Yeah, they are going behind the wall, and that damage is so significant. I mean, it's got to be the end of his day, I would think, Hermie.
Yeah, you can see it. The tremendous damage to the entire back end of that truck. A lot of frustration, as you can tell, from John Hunter Nemechek. Pulled down pit road, and crew chief Jerry Cannon said, we have to go behind the wall. So they'll go assess it. We'll keep you updated, but a big blow to the championship hopes of John Hunter Nemechek.
Well, and you see what John Hunter has done through the playoffs, and there is the damage, and he was.
That was a.
Oh! Around goes Christopher Bell. And the caution is out after contact with the 88 of Matt Crafton.
Christopher gets it refired. Will stay on the lead lap.
Watch the curve here.
Bell, our championship leader, coming into this opening race of the second round.
He gets it refired, pointed in the right direction. He will stay on the lead lap. These guys have another set of tires in the pits. They had 4 sets of tires for this race.
I'd get them right now. Can't wait any longer after that spin.
Yeah, we only have 78 laps to go right now. It'll be 3 or 4 laps under caution.
Check this out. Matt Crafton was on the bottom, and those two make contact. It looked like Crafton had begun to heat up. Bell, did Crafton catch the curb there and slide up the track?
Looked like he did. He was about 3 or 4 feet extra up, higher than he probably could have been next to the curb. Let's watch it again here. See if he hits that curb.
No, he just pushed up.
Curb, just pushed up. But we're only talking about, what, 2 feet maybe?
How about from the view of Crafton?
You see, Crafton's all over Bell. He'd really run him down, dives inside. And Christopher gave him room. I mean, Matt just overshot the corner a bit. Christopher Bell moved up. He knew at that point that Crafton was faster, but he still got spun out.
So Bell is going to go from the lead deep into the field.
Yeah, 23 trucks on the lead lap right now, Vince. We'll have just over 70 laps to go when we restart this race.
Massachusetts saw him pull over to the inside the block at 16 of Truex, and Chase Briscoe is around.
Our pole winner, Chase Briscoe, led 39 laps at the start of the race. Contact into the wall, running from the 11th position.
Hang on, loop it around now, come on.
Left rear tire is down on that Ford.
That probably means contact from the right front of another truck.
Yeah, maybe the 24 of Justin Haley. They were battling for about the 10th spot back there.
Heavy damage.
I remember this earlier. Watch the 29 on the outside. They all get squeezed together.
Sees damage. Contact to the left rear of the 29.
It's Ben Rhodes, the 27, just inside of him in that instance. And then this is what happened. Oh, the 24 of Justin Haley giving him a...
Would nudge? Would you call that a nudge?
I'd say that was a little more than a nudge.
I think he clobbered him. But in Haley's defense, he was getting
87 of Ty Dillon.
Yep. He was getting pushed into the corner by Ty Dillon, and that's one of those cases where you say, buddy, that wasn't my fault.
What do you mean? You hit him?
So Dillon hit Haley, and Haley hit Briscoe, and Briscoe hit the wall.
He's the only one that didn't hit anybody, and he hit the wall. That's the way the sport works.
That's what happens, short track racing.
Get this thing so we can drop the front end on the splitter. Get this.
The first win of his Truck Series career, Chase Briscoe was chasing it from the pole today, not likely to come.
That was the damage they were talking about. They want to drop a jack, drop something on that left front to get it to bend back up on the splitter.
Jack it up, let's go. Come on, hurry up, put tire back on it, we gotta go.
But just being able to keep that truck right where it needs to be in the corners, fighting off those bumps. Alan, we got a caution down in turn 2. Around goes the 50 truck.
That's going to be huge for Johnny Sauter. He will be able to restart on the inside in the second row.
Bailey Curry making his Truck Series debut. You know, and that's just how it works out. As you said, going to be able to start on the inside is Johnny Sauter. Better position than starting on the outside. So if he would have passed for second, now Sauter would have found himself starting on the outside. But because he wasn't able to pass, he's going to get the preferred position on the inside lane.
You know, that's funny. Michael and I were talking about that during one of our commercial breaks. Is Johnny trying to stay there thinking we're going to get another caution so we can restart third? And maybe he was, but then the sense of urgency ramped up when we got inside 25 down to 20 laps to go. He said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to have to do it now.
The 92, Regan Smith getting the free pass with this caution. Well, we're going to have us a shootout once they get this thing cleaned up because the laps are going to go by real quickly to get us to the finish.
This is good stuff.
Let's watch what happened here with the 50 of Bailey Curry.
He made a little bit of contact with the 45.
Jeffrey Abbey was up high, and then Bailey got there. I think he tried to stay off of Abbey and just had the wheels cut too much and spun around.
Pass on this truck right here, Johnny Sauter. Oh, Matt Crafton. A big wiggle and a great catch.
Wow, Crafton, one of our championship contenders, 6th place at the time, a huge save.
And you just, I mean, you can't afford this, Phil. He doesn't do a great job in saving that truck and puts it in the outside wall. Caution's out. Oh, big crash.
Huge hit for the 42, and that's Tommy Joe Martins. They were in the backup truck already because of an issue yesterday in practice.
Look how bad that truck's torn up, both sides of it.
Wow. I'm glad to see Tommy moving around in that truck. A hard hit. Thank you for the safer barriers here around this Texas Motor Speedway.
Now, safer barriers all the way around the outside and the inside of the racetrack here.
That's sort of puts you back into reality about 190 miles an hour down in the corner. When something goes wrong, what damage it could cause. And like you said, Phil, blessed to see Tommy Joe moving around. He's going to be shaken up for sure, but I believe he'll be able to get out.
You know, that's the thing that people have asked of what it's like to go that fast. As we take a look at the 80, this is the issue. He's following the 21 of Johnny Sauter.
Look at that thing step out.
Look at it step out here, and he had to catch it, had to use some racetrack up to catch it, got well out of the black, but a nice catch for Matt Crafton.
You know, they made that turn 1 and 2 area an extra 20 feet wider when they reduced the banking. Crafton is thankful maybe that it was an extra 20 feet. He needed all the room he could get to wrangle that one back in. And that would have been catastrophic to
without
his
a doubt
championship hopes if he'd have put that on the wall.
That has the look of maybe something breaking on the right front of that truck. And then as he comes down the hill, he just can't steer it. And then hard.
Yeah, when we first saw that truck, I said it looks like an outside wall damage, and there it was.
From the northeast, Phil, he's running in the 22nd position and not a lot of experience on these big high bank track. And he said he didn't know what the heck happened. It just snapped out from underneath of him. There it is.
Yeah, all by himself here on exit of number 2. Going to make contact with the inside safer barrier. Pretty good contact.
Yeah, that's a shame. When you're a kid like that, just trying to learn what this is all about, have that opportunity taken away from you by getting loose off the corner.
He made one previous start this year, and that was on the modified home track of Loudon, New Hampshire.
25 years old from Orchard Park, New York. The second caution tonight. Tommy Joe Martins involved in an accident also by himself earlier in the race, and in fact Martins has been checked and cleared from the medical center. Here at Texas, Justin Haley has spun, gathered it up, didn't hit anything, but got a little bit of damage maybe on that left rear from the contact from his teammate Johnny Sauter. Watch Sauter in that blue and white 21.
Sauter sees an opening. It's not a very big one. Dives in there and just clips Haley. And watch this job, Phil. He stays in the gas just the perfect amount of time to keep that thing from getting in the outside wall.
Vince, you talked about that 20 extra feet down there in 1 and 2. Justin needed every single one of them.
Yeah, he was not far off the wall. And watch Johnny Sauter. Complete lack of vision here from the smoke off that 24.
That's what you call hoping he's not there when you get there. And Sauter did a nice job of getting low and underneath of him.
24, Justin Haley was our pole winner, and certainly got to be frustrated, but at the same time, maybe dodged a bullet there, Hermie, by not making the 0 of Ray Cicerelli, who's spun
on fire there, too.
Yeah, it is.
Front it, it's on fire. Caution.
Maybe that thing lost an engine or something.
Cicerelli is out of the truck. You see him there.
Probably overtaken by some fumes, Vince, trying to get his wits about him.
Yeah, he's trying to get that helmet off. You can see that he is not feeling well. Well, look at the fire damage on that 0 machine. And look at watch this. He comes by here in between turns 3 and 4 with the fire out from underneath the truck.
That has the look of maybe a fuel line rupturing or something, maybe from the fuel pump to the carburetor. And his truck still run. They don't run the EFI, the electronic fuel injection. They still run carburetor.
Up against the wall is the 98 of Grant Enfinger. And that's going to bring out the caution with 4 laps remaining in the stage. Enfinger was running the 15th position.
That has every look of what we talked about earlier, melting that right front bead on the tire, and it blows out because of the brake heat. Anytime you're racing back 10th, 15th in traffic like that, it makes the heat even more excessive. And then you use the brakes even more trying to get the thing turned. And
you talked about the rotors glowing early on.
A heavy hit on the right side of that 98 truck, and good to see Grant put that window net down to let everybody know he's okay.
He was one of the guys. Yeah, one of the guys that changed 4 tires on that pit stop.
And you heard Grant say no real warning at all. So that brings out the caution for the second time. Of course, the first caution was the Enfinger. 3rd truck back here as the replay begins.
as they come down into turn 1, you can see he dives for the corner, and Phil, that tire just went.
Yeah, man, oh man, what about a 45-degree angle into the outside safer barrier. There's another view of it there. Probably not, well, more like a 20-degree angle, but a hard hit nonetheless.
It's been such a good season for that 98 team. Enfinger with 9 top 5s this season, battling for Rookie of the Year. He and crew chief Jeff Hensley have done a terrific job with that machine this season.
Great to see him out walking around that truck, but big break for Austin Cindric. He was able to keep Johnny Sauter behind him for that point.
And Noah Gregson. That's Bell on the inside. Gregson, the leader, on the outside.
Good restart by Bell on the inside. Oh, trouble!
Rhodes is turned around by Cindric. Heavy contact in the 27 of Ben Rhodes, and Matt Crafton involved as well. Austin Cindric got into the back of the 27 of Ben Rhodes. Watch the 19 and the 27. The 19 of Cindric goes low, and Cindric, Rhodes came down a little bit to try to protect his position. Cindric got in the back end of him.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a situation where Ben came down a little bit there to try to block the advance of the 19. He had a great run and hard contact there with Matt Crafton.
I mean, that's on the restart. I mean, Rhodes' truck came all the way off the ground and hit so hard. That just tells you how intense the speed is here at Phoenix. Those trucks just torn all to pieces. There's the block, there's the dive, and then the block. Look at that truck up in the air. And it's not over yet.
Really fortunate that Austin Cindric got by. Unfortunately, Matt Crafton not nearly as fortunate.
A couple of trucks behind this mess was the 13 of Cody Coughlin. Let's see what he saw.
Yeah, that was definitely a situation where Austin Cindric did not just go up there and move that 27 truck out of the way.
He just nailed the start, Phil.
Yep.
The restart was perfect. Look at the momentum he has
touched
there.
him right there, but now you see Ben fading to the left side there to try to stop that advance by the 19.
He just, Cindric just had a perfect restart. Was past the start-finish line, dove to the bottom of the racetrack. Rhodes reacted to the 19 truck diving to the bottom and drove lower, and the two trucks made contact.
Look, contact.
There's the blocking.
The 99 of Sargent, the 97 of Jesse Little, and the 16 of Ryan Truex.
What the hell just happened?
We don't know either.
And there is Truex making his way over to have some words with Little. Good to see that all the drivers are okay.
There were way too many trucks trying to get back on the racetrack and have about 50 feet wide to try to make that corner.
Great pictures from our Fox Sports team here. Look at that. 5 wide we see there.
And only like one of them on the racetrack.
And Truex is trying to make it 6 wide.
Look at Gilliland there. Just barely gets into the back of the 99 of Sargent. A little bit of damage to that pedigree truck.
Chase Briscoe got through there cleanly as well.
Look at this view.
Cutting off the dog leg there, thinking that's the quick way through, but when you get down off the track, especially that far down off the track, and then when you come back up, if there's no room there, as you said, Mike, I think that's a great description. It's just a funnel.
Yeah. At some point, you have to understand that there's not a lot of good that's going to come from your angle that you're going to have into turn 3. They were 5 wide, and it looked like Brian Truex was thinking about taking them 6 wide. You can see right there, that's 6 trucks in a line, and they have to get up on the racetrack.
It's unfortunate because all those guys were having good runs tonight. 16 Truex, 97 Jesse Little, and Dalton Sargent, 2 guys we don't see very often. Sargent's been since 2015 at this race, the last time he ran in the Truck Series, but was having a good run tonight, and Jesse Little was also. Johnny Sauter waiting for somebody to mess up between Bell and Gregson?
Absolutely.
Certainly has to be, considering how long these two can run that tight.
Oh, there he goes! Both of them into the wall.
Takes Justin Haley with him.
Guys, John Hunter Nemechek got through and will line up second behind Johnny Sauter.
Nemechek still with an opportunity. And there he is. It seems so unlikely during the earlier laps in this race, but right now, John Hunter Nemechek is going to have a shot. And his 21 of Johnny Sauter is going to be the leader.
A lot of damage on that 4 truck of Christopher Bell. He made some pretty significant contact with the outside safer barrier.
I think maybe Bell was a little bit ahead of Sauter, but look at all the damage. That tire is rubbing pretty severely. I don't think it matters if Christopher Bell's the leader. I think he's going to have to pit.
And NASCAR is checking, and now they say that the 4 of Bell will be the leader.
I'm like Michael. I don't see him staying on the racetrack with all that damage. And what a tough break for Noah Gragson and Christopher Bell, for that matter. Both of them running such a great race.
Bell had led 88 laps. Gregson had led 55. They had been the 2 dominant drivers throughout the course of this race.
And Justin Haley there had driven himself in contention for the win here.
He was right there with Johnny Sauter in that battle for 3rd.
And you see the frustration of Noah Gragson, undoubtedly believing that he had a truck that was capable of winning this race tonight.
Didn't see any way, Phil, those two could race like that and not crash. It's just nearly impossible.
I don't know how they went around lap after lap side by side like that and didn't crash before. And once again, they're going to stop the trucks over in turn 3.
Just hate it for both of those young men, Noah Gragson and Christopher Bell. Both of them had trucks capable of winning. Both of them led a good part of this race. 88 laps for Christopher Bell, 55 laps for Noah Gragson.
when you're down on the bottom like that and the truck is very aggressively chasing you into the corner, trying to take some aerodynamics off of your truck, it's so hard to hang on to them. It doesn't matter if you're a young racer like Noah Gragson or the veteran Matt Crafton, who we saw in that same position just a couple years ago here.
Here they are side by side. Gragson there on the inside, and just I don't know if there was contact that led to him getting around, and then Justin Haley had nowhere to go.
Wow, right in the door.
There had definitely been some contact between the 18 and the 4. Whether or not it directly led to the 18 taking a spin there, I'm not sure. It's hard to tell from this angle.
As Michael said, you see Christopher Bell way down hugging that 18 truck, and it looks like it just got him loose, Michael. We see so many times that truck on the inside loses that air off the rear spoiler of that truck, and around he went. Christopher had nowhere to go. He had to give him room. He had to chase it up there. He made hard contact with the outside wall, and
look at John Hunter.
Got some debris off, I think, off the 24 truck.
Bumper bars and everything
18.
bouncing. There's another piece of a splitter or side skirt that John Hunter runs into. Kaz Grala also ran over that bumper bar that's laying in the middle of the racetrack.
John Hunter Nemechek able to get through and is now going to find himself in position to possibly win this race and clinch a spot in the Final Four next week at Homestead. And this is what Nemechek saw.
That's just good spotting, telling the driver exactly what those trucks were doing.
Yeah,
been up top,
on top of it, wasn't it?
Yeah, coming back down across, and John Hunter just did a nice job of slipping through. Vince, remember at the top
time tonight.